Hi, I'm Jen. I'm a PhD student with Professor Matt Fisher at Imperial College London and Dr. Andrew Singer at UK Centre for Ecology and Hydrology. My PhD is looking at how the mould Aspergillus fumigatus acquires drug resistance from the environment and the implications of this for human health. To do this, I organised two citizen science projects, #ScienceSolstice and #SummerSoilstice, asking people from across the UK to collect air and soil samples and send them back to me. And from these I grew Aspergillus fumigatus colonies. So a lot of people watching this video have probably already seen my PowerPoint presentation about my projects and my PhD. So I thought today I'd do something a bit different. So I'm going to show you a little video on a typical day in the life of a mycologist. So today is all about plate pouring. So I've weighed out 32.5 grams of Sabouraud dextrose agar into this 500ml bottle. Here's one I prepared earlier. Then I fill it up with deionized water. Here's another one I prepared earlier. And then I go and pop it in this giant autoclave. Here we go. And it cooks it at 121 degrees C for 15 minutes. And now it's just cooling down so that the bottles are cool enough to handle. So once I'm done waiting for the autoclave to finish sterilising my media, I then have to wait for the media to cool down so it's not too hot for me to handle. Then I lay out my plates, so here's going to be the SAB plus the DMSO, here's going to be the milk flask with just plain SAB, and then some more dishes with just SAB in. So I'm going to have a go at pouring my plates one-handed and see if you can still hear me over the sound of the cabinet again. Oh, let's tilt that there. So I'm just going to pour my plates. Just keep pouring until it covers the bottom. Like that. So instead of making you watch me pour plates, I figured I'd just show you the end product. So here's 100 poured plates and flasks in different media. Now I just need to wait for an hour for them to dry so that I can use them for the next bit. So once I've poured my plates and they're dried and ready to go, I grab my trusty list of isolates and then go into the walk-in fridge and find the box of moulds that I need. So I'm a bit of a hoarder. This is all the plates I've ever grown for my citizen science project. All of those boxes are full of mould isolates. More boxes, more isolates, more boxes, plates. So I need this box here, and then I take it to the hood. So the next thing I want to do is to set my mould isolates up for drug testing, cryopreservation and DNA extraction. So in the hood, because Aspergillus fumigatus is a human lung pathogen, I have these milk flasks which have plain SAB in, as well as petri dishes with plain SAB. Then I have dishes with SAB plus DMSO, which are my control plates for drug testing, and SAB with tebuconazole drug in. So I'm just going to show you what I do one-handed, and hopefully you can still hear me over the sound of the cabinet. So I've labelled them all with the name of the isolate that I want to test. So I'm going to just flip them over, take the lid off, and then that isolate is 1 out of 17. So I'm going to pop the lid on that, take my pipette, make sure it's at 5. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is much harder one-handed. Sorry, very painful watching someone wind a pipette. Okay. And I'm just going to take 5 microliters of that mould isolate, where it's preserved in clear water. Pop it on that plate there. 5 there. Put it on there. And get rid of that. I'm not going to do the other 2 plates on camera because it's a bit trickier taking the flask lid off an old flask. So here's my incubator, heating everything up to 37 degrees C, which is human body temperature. So here's the box of isolates that I've just prepared from today that I've put in the incubator. And then here's another box that I did last week, just to show you what they should look like after I've left them in the incubator for 48 hours. So Jen's garden, I collected these from my garden by putting out some air samplers. So remember from my previous video, I had a plate with SAB plus DMSO, which was my control plate, and then a plate with tebuconazole, which was my drug plate. So essentially all of the isolates have grown on the control plate, whereas one has grown on the tebuconazole plate, which means it's drug resistant. So because I set these isolates up last week, I've also already cryopreserved them and DNA extracted them. So that's that. I just need to do this for 2,000 mould isolates. Ta-da!